Extremity Games is an extreme sports competition for people with limb loss or limb difference. That includes, anyone who's paralyzed, people who, any amputees, limited mobility. So it's really an adaptive sports event for people with disabilities. There's really no other competition like it. Extremity Games is a competition where athletes can come out and compete peer-to-peer, limb loss to limb loss. Extremity Games has really impacted people in the fashion that, they come to these events and just the camaraderie with all the athletes and what they learn from each other about their setup for sports, or, hey, I see him doing that sport, maybe I can do that too. So it's really kind of opened up people's minds to it. Extremity Games, I think, is really going to be expanding over the next few years. A lot more people are learning about it and knowing about it. Each year the event grows with the number of competitors. So I think in the future for motocross, what we're trying to do is actually expand motocross to a 3-race series across the U.S. And then for the main event, what we'd like to do is actually become the pre-qualifier for other events. So for our kayaking event this year, we were named the qualifier for World Wakeboard Association for their national championships. And then for kayaking was just named a Paralympian event. So we're hoping to become a qualifier for that as well.
I got hurt racing 16 years ago, and I've been racing again for the past, about 4 years. The last 3 years we've done the X Games, and I've came out here for this will be my 2nd year. I do it for the fun. I mean, everybody's really competitive, but I do it more for just the awareness. I think it's a great cause, and just let people know that you can still live and have fun. I'm all for it. I'll instigate them to get back on and start living your life again, because it's the best thing I think that I could have ever done. Basically, I've got the rear brake set up for on the handlebars, and then I've got a solenoid shifting up and down. This is down and up shifting, and the seat is basically cut off of a go-kart seat, because I was racing go-karts professionally for a while, and then just strap yourself on and go. But my legs get held on by these carbon pieces to hold my legs from, because I broke my ankles a few different times, so the carbon kind of helps support the weight of the strap instead of being right on your ankle. Just more people need to come out. If, I've got a few extra bikes, if somebody wants to try it, I'm all for helping whoever, wants to. Sampy, my buddy, came and flew from South Africa, living with me, and we're just having a good time.
I'm here racing in the Extremity Games in the amputee class. I was born with only one hand, and I'm riding the Yamaha number 248. This sport's been great to me. I've raced motocross now for 30 years, and I'm fortunate enough that I was born with only one hand, so I've never really had to adapt to it per se. But I've raced motocross for a long time, and it's been great to me. I love the sport. On my bike, my bike's a little different than most people's. The left side of my bike is 3 inches higher than the right, and I have a recluse clutch and some risers for the handlebars. And other than that, it's pretty much the same as everyone else's. I feel bad for all the men and women coming home from the war with missing limbs, but there is hope for them. There's a lot of great prosthetics out there these days, and they've actually sparked new prosthetics. And one of our fellow competitors, Mike Schultz, he's actually designed his own knee after he lost his leg, and he's doing great with that. Well, a lot of guys that have lost their limb raced motocross before, so they have a true passion for it. I would love to see some of the soldiers coming back from the war who may not have ridden a motorcycle before and lost a limb and get into the motocross. There's plenty of us that would absolutely love to help them get going. Love to. I just want to thank the Extremity Games for putting this on. Thank Patrick from Baja MX here in Millington, Michigan. And just want to give a prop out to myself. I go to schools and I talk to kids about overcoming adversity, being born with one arm. And it's called onlyoneInspiration.com. And I go to schools all over, talk to the kids. I let them know that anything is possible. Do anything you want, be anything you want. Fortunately, I can operate a backhoe, bobcat. I own a landscape company. And most importantly, I can ride a dirt bike. So.
Well, we are hosting the 6th annual Extremity Games here at Baja Acres, and we are at the motocross event. The portion we have limb loss and limb difference. Well, besides racing and everything, I helped organize with Beth and all the other board members and organized all this, working with Patrick and Rosanna from Baja, and as well as competed in the adaptive portion of the motocross. Well, how I adapt my bike, obviously because I'm missing my left leg above the knee, I have an electric shifter. Then I modify my foot peg to accommodate my leg so it, basically works with like a real leg would work. Well, you definitely got to do what your heart tells you, but there's really no reason you can't with all the, the headway we made with figuring things out and the trials and errors and all that, setting bikes up. But, if it's worth doing, you're going to find a way to do it. Well, here at the Extremity Games, we have the limb loss and limb difference, and it's a 2-moto format for each one. So how to get scored, you race 2 times and they average your overall score between them 2 motos. So, that determines, how you place for the overall event. So a first and third could get you a second place depending on how everyone else does. Obviously, you go 1 and 1, you're, going to get the first place. So, yeah, this is actually my first ride, definitely the first race back since January, because I shattered my left wrist, had 6 pins put in, and they tell me like 70, 80 stitches inside the ligaments and tendons hold everything going, and just doctor kind of recommended another 2 weeks before I did anything strenuous, but this is the Extremity Game, so we tape it, put a brace on, and go for it. I just want to thank all the athletes for coming, we got guys, from South Africa, guys from California, Iowa, Jersey, Connecticut, all around. Thank them for making the trek and supporting us, and then all the sponsors and the board members to put this together. Without, each and everyone I just mentioned, we wouldn't be here.
All right, the X Games is an event that's like the Olympic Games of action sports. It's been running for 16 years. I found out that they had a class for us over in 2009. So I flew over here to do the qualifier where we're at today at Baja in Michigan. I did it, it's called the Extremity Games where we're at today, and I qualified, raced it in 2009, did pretty well, and then in 2010 I won both the Extremity Games and the X Games in my class. Well, I just do it because I love it, There's no special reason, or it's just something that I've done since I was 12 years old, and I don't see any reason for me to stop now. Well, racing back home in South Africa is pretty small compared to over here in the US. I actually have a problem, that's why I come out here. I came the 2 prior years to this one. I came a little early to just shake off some of the cobwebs because I'm not allowed racing in South Africa. The governing body over there has not allowed me to take part in any races. The only place I can really race in and come and compete is over here in the US, and I love it. I like the fact that the American people are so open to people with disabilities and give them opportunities to live a normal life, Back home, it's kind of not like that. I've approached MSA and spoken to them about this topic a bunch of times, and I think that I've proved myself more than well enough over here in the US to show that I can compete with able-bodied riders and guys like me.